Every year, on a crisp November morning, an unusual ceremony unfolds on the grounds of the White House. It is a moment filled with pomp and tradition, a curious ritual in which a bird is brought before the President of the United States and ceremoniously spared from becoming part of the Thanksgiving feast. This quirky custom has captured the public's imagination, raising a question. How did we arrive at this point, where an actual bird is granted the highest honor in poultry, a reprieve from the dinner table? This is not your typical courtroom drama. Let's talk about the curious tradition of pardoning the Thanksgiving turkey. The story of the turkey pardon is one of evolution, tradition, and the occasional political twist. For centuries, Thanksgiving in America has been a time to gather with family, to share in gratitude, and, of course, to enjoy the famous holiday feast. While the idea of eating turkey on Thanksgiving dates back to early colonial times, the tradition of sparing one particular bird only began to take shape much later. Let us journey through history to uncover the story behind this feathered ceremony. Our first clue takes us to the time of President Abraham Lincoln. In 1863, Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday amidst the turbulence of the American Civil War. Legend has it that around the same period, Lincoln's son, Tad, had grown fond of a turkey named Jack, a bird destined for the dinner table. Tad pleaded with his father to spare his feathered friend, and Lincoln, moved by his son's compassion, agreed to pardon the bird. Whether or not this act truly planted the seed for the modern turkey pardon, the story endures as a heartwarming tale of presidential mercy. For decades, the Thanksgiving turkey reigned supreme on American dinner tables. Yet no official turkey pardon ceremony existed. However, it was common for American farmers and various poultry associations to send a plump turkey to the White House each November as a gesture of goodwill. These turkeys were generally destined for one fate, the president's table. But in the 20th century, this custom took an unexpected turn, one that would eventually lead to the spectacle we know today. In 1947, just after World War II, the National Turkey Federation decided to send President Harry S. Truman a Thanksgiving turkey as a symbol of abundance in a time of renewed prosperity. Truman's successors, Presidents Eisenhower and Kennedy, continued the practice, sometimes sparing the turkey, sometimes not, but always creating a photo opportunity. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy added his own touch to the tradition. Presented with a turkey, Kennedy famously remarked, "We'll just let this one grow." The press interpreted this as an informal pardon, a gesture of goodwill, sparing the bird from the holiday feast. Kennedy's decision not to eat the turkey was a small, symbolic act, one that hinted at the gentler, humorous side of presidential power. In 1987, amid a sea of questions from the press, President Ronald Reagan joked about granting a turkey a pardon in response to inquiries on whether the bird would be eaten. It was an offhand comment, but one that resonated with the public's growing fondness for the quirky tradition. In 1989, President George H.W. Bush solidified the tradition into the event we recognize today. Faced with a large, rather majestic turkey gifted by the National Turkey Federation, Bush announced, to the delight of the press and public, that the turkey had been granted a presidential pardon. From that moment forward, every sitting president would pardon a turkey each November. Today, the annual turkey pardon is more than just a White House ritual. It has become a cherished, if unusual, symbol of Thanksgiving festivities, marking the beginning of the holiday season. With every pardon, the president, often with family members by their side, addresses the public, sharing a lighthearted moment as they spare the turkey. The tradition has even taken on an air of levity, with turkeys given names, sometimes chosen by a public vote. Birds like peanut butter and jelly or drumstick and wishbone have each had their moment in the White House spotlight. As Americans gather with friends and family each Thanksgiving, the turkey pardon remains a moment of shared lightheartedness and reflection. While turkeys across the nation take their place on tables, one lucky bird each year stands beside the president, representing a strange but enduring American ritual. Though it may seem whimsical, the turkey pardon has become a part of American culture, a quirky expression of our values. It is a reminder of the spirit of Thanksgiving, a holiday that at its heart is about compassion, family, and gratitude. And yes, it's also about the power of tradition, even if that tradition involves a farm bird in a tuxedo meeting the president. In the turkey's pardon, we find a reminder that Thanksgiving is about more than a meal. It is a time to reflect on generosity, humility, and the sometimes whimsical traditions that bring people together. While one turkey may be saved from the table, the gesture is a light-hearted reflection on human kindness, a seasonal reminder that amidst even the most serious duties, there is room for celebration, joy, and a touch of absurdity. As the turkey is led back to its pen, it carries with it the legacy of a peculiar yet beloved American tradition. Perhaps it doesn't know its significance. Perhaps it simply enjoys the attention. But each year, as Americans across the country sit down to their Thanksgiving dinners, the pardoned turkey reminds us that sometimes traditions emerge from the simplest acts of mercy, humor, and the cherished rituals we create and pass down. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.